Hey everyone, it's Ansi. I got a package from Copic markers today, so let's open it together. So earlier in May, Copic asked me to give them a shout out on my Instagram to promote the annual Copic Award contest. What they didn't tell me at the time was that they were going to send me a present in return for my help, which is really nice of them. In this package, they sent me 3 things. So the first thing is the Copic Sketch Basic 24 color set. They also sent me a set of their black Copic multiliners in all of the sizes that are available. The last thing in the box is a Copic sketchbook with their premium bond paper. Now let's swatch these markers. A lot of people ask me for recommendations on pastel Copic colors, and actually this set has 6 really pretty pastel colors which I will swatch first. Basically, the pastel colors are the markers with Copic codes that end with only zeros. This selection right here is, I think, quite suitable for people who are really into soft pastel coloring. Now that we're done with the pastels, let's swatch the slightly more saturated and brighter colors in this set. If you compare the colors I'm swatching right now to the first row of pastels I did earlier, you'll notice that the first and second row of colors are in similar or the same color families. So potentially you can use the colors in the second row as shading colors for the colors in the first row. The last 2 rows are interesting. So here we have 3 earth tones, 6 different shades of gray, 1 black color, and also the Colorless Blender. My guess is that they gave you the earth colors for skin tones, and the grays are there for you to use as like shading colors. My honest opinion on this set is that the color variety is pretty good for a Copic beginner. But if there's one thing I can change, I would like to swap out the 2 darkest gray colors for some other colors, because the dark grays are just so similar. I feel like it might have been better if they gave you like an extra earth tone or 2. So here's a quick shot of these swatches. There's a good variety of pastels, saturated colors, some skin tones, and grays for shading. Beyond these 24 colors, you can also mix some new colors of your own. As an example, let's try to mix and match the 6 pastel colors. I will layer each of the 6 pastel colors on top of each other to see what new colors I can make. The point that I really want to make is that you don't really need to buy a huge number of markers. When you buy a small set, like a 12 or 24 color set, you just need to experiment with blending and layering the colors that are already in your set to see what new colors you can make. So this layering exercise did give me a bunch of new colors. For example, mixing the warm colors gave me a variety of pinks and peach colors. I also got some nice bright pastel greens and blue violets. The next thing that we're going to talk about is skin tones. The good thing about this set is that they already gave you a couple of skin tones, so I'm just going to show you how you can combine some of these colors in this set for skin, blush, and shading. The first combination I will do is to use E000 as the base skin color, then use RV00 for blush, and then YR61 for shading skin. I chose to combine these three colors because the ending numbers in the Copic codes are very close to each other, i.e. they're all like 1s and 0s, and that means that these will blend well together. Actually, I have not tried YR61 before I got this set, but it's such a natural looking skin shading color. For the second combo, I will use YR000 as the base and YR65 as the shading color. YR000 has a slightly more orangey tone compared to E000 in the previous example. If you're planning to do more realistic portraits, I would recommend using E000 for a more natural looking skin tone, but I think YR000 is not bad if you want to use it for drawing anime characters. For the third combination, I will use E11 as the skin tone. It's a really nice soft tan. I can see this being a good color for both skin and also for hair. But halfway through, I thought that the blush color was a bit too light, so I added a bit of YR000 to the blush area. For shading, I used YR65 again. To finish this, I added a bit of E11 to the shadows again to make it more natural looking. For this last skin tone combo, I used R43 for a more dramatic blush color and also E15 for a darker skin tone. To even out the blush, I also mixed in just a bit of E11 around the edges of the blush. For shading, I mixed BV11 and also E15 together. Whenever you shade skin, it's a good idea to mix the shading color with the base skin color to make the transition smoother and also more natural looking. Next, I'm going to do a demo of how I blend colors together. Remember, if you want Copic colors to blend well, you need to pick Copic colors with ending numbers that are close to each other. If you don't really have any idea of how to choose colors, picking this 24 color set is a good idea because the guys at Copic have already picked out colors that can blend well together for you. There's still one thing we haven't talked about. It's the Colorless Blender. If it doesn't have color, what do we use it for? Let me show you a few ways you can use this. You can apply some blender on the paper first, then put on a layer of color ink. Or you can apply color ink first, then use the blender on top. Either way, the end effect is that you get a slightly softer, fuzzier, and lighter tone. You can also use the Colorless Blender to make patterns. Let's try to make a small polka dot pattern with the blender. Basically, the colorless ink is pushing the original layer of color to the bottom of the paper, creating these little white dots that you see here. I don't see the Colorless Blender as something you absolutely need, but if you have the budget, it doesn't hurt to have one of these so you can play around with it. Before I forget, you can also use the Colorless Blender to fix some minor coloring mistakes. For example, if I colored outside my line art, I can apply a small amount of blender to push these colors back inside the line art. Okay, so the blender is not an eraser, but it's still somewhat effective. I that this video was helpful to you if you're considering to get the 24 color set. As usual, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. See you next time!